To give brief background, my father passed suddenly and unexpectedly about 3 years ago, and since then, my life was flipped upside down. Shortly after his passing, my mother came out, remarried a woman, my stepmom. An intense falling out with her side of the family ensued, causing me to have fractured relationships with my aunts, uncles. My relationship with my mother became extremely poor. At first, my relationship with my stepmother was difficult in that I avoided spending any time with her one-on-one within the first year. However, since that first year, although we are not tied at the hip like my biological brother and I may be, we behaved like family. So, about a year after my father passed, before my mom and stepmother got married, my mom and I were cleaning out our house to be sold and happened upon lots of high-end unopened luggage. My dad always gifted me nice suitcases, duffel bags, backpacks, etc. I found a piece I really liked and told my mom I wanted to keep that particular one. Some months passed. We downsized to an apartment, put our belongings together in a storage unit, and it was then that I realized that I didn't see the suitcase I chose anywhere. I asked her about it, and her reply was that she sold it to someone. I was upset because I had claimed this piece from my father's collection. But I moved past it, thinking I'd never see it again, until months later we, mom, brother, stepmother, stepbrother, vacationed at my mom and stepmother's house out in the country. We were in the airport, and I noticed my stepbrother had a suitcase that looked exactly like the one my dad had. I casually asked him, "Hey, did my mom give that to you?" And he confirmed she sold it to him and gushed about how much he loved it. I just nodded and said nothing else, but I was furious and hurt inside. I told my mother privately, away from stepmother and stepbrother, that I felt she had betrayed me by not only selling something I wanted to keep from my late father, but to my stepbrother, not any stranger wherein I'd never see it again. I told her that I wanted it back, as it was mine and she had no right to sell it. In the end, she ended up letting the stepbrother know the situation, purchased him a new suitcase, so he wouldn't be out the money or a suitcase, and I got the suitcase back. However, my stepmother was angry about what happened. I thought nothing of it, as I got no real details from my mother. This was January. Since then, my stepmother has refused to see or speak to me. In this time, I had a surgery and a few other medical procedures. I'd be on the phone with my mom, with her around, etc. But I didn't hear from my stepmother once. I even once attempted to go up to their apartment to charge my phone after spending a day with my mom, and my stepmother texted her, "Not a good time," i.e., she did not want me in. I was upset and confused, and after a couple days, my mother confirmed it. My stepmother is upset with me over the suitcase, blames me for what happened, and has no interest in talking to me or seeing me for the foreseeable future. I am not sure what to do. I am angry that she is upset with me over a situation where I was not at fault, that she has been giving me a silent treatment for months, and that in the past I have asked her to meet so we can talk about our relationship if something was bothering me, but she didn't do the same. I am also feeling hurt and confused that she would dislike me over this so much. I am also supposed to vacation at their house again this Christmas, but I feel uncomfortable now. However, I don't want to spend the holiday alone. Any tips on what to do? Your stepmother is acting like a brat, and your mother is 100% complicit in her behavior by enabling it. OP, I would feel hurt if I were in your shoes also, but mostly by your mom. I don't understand why she allowed this situation to happen in the first place. Regardless of how your stepmom, who seems completely childish and not worth your time, is behaving, I think you need to have an "I feel" conversation with your mom. It is her responsibility to fix this situation that was ultimately her fault in the first place, and it sounds like your stepmom is a total jerk. If mom is not willing to rectify this situation, I think you need to consider why you're even interested in spending time with these people for the holidays anyways. Perhaps it's time to establish a group of friends you can spend holidays with, or plan a movie, TV binge with Chinese food. Make the holiday yours, and try to remind yourself that while it is wonderful spending time with family for the holidays, these family members aren't treating you like family. Would it really be that enjoyable sitting at a table with stepmom who acts 14 and stepbrother who thought this was normal to buy your deceased father's possessions, or your mother who is more concerned with making her significant other and her son happy over you? Today is my birthday. Whenever my dad and his wife asked me what I want for my birthday for the past few months, I've been telling them I want a new phone. since the contract on mine is about to run out, and it's really badly broken. My friend dropped it a year ago, and ever since then the screen is barely usable, and the battery has gone to crap. I really need a new one. They were acting as if I'd get it, but I didn't get one, and that's fine. After all, a phone is expensive, and with me being an adult now, I should pay for that kind of stuff myself. Me not getting the phone isn't the part that's upsetting me, though. It's the fact that on my birthday, my stepmom went out and got the exact phone I wanted. She has been gloating all day about it, how good it is, and how happy she is that she got it, asking me things like, "Isn't this phone so cool, OP?" while I'm sitting beside her with my broken phone. Cherry on top, she offered me her old cases. Her former phone is the same model as mine, which feels disrespectful. I then asked her if I could maybe take over her old phone, since it's in great condition. But no, my stepbrother, 12 male, is getting that one when he gets home later today, even though he already got a new phone for his birthday 2 months ago. He got the 7, the new one is a 7 Plus. They're going to give his current phone to my stepmom's mom. I understand it's their property and they can do whatever they want with it, but this all happening on my birthday is annoying. Background info. My stepmom does not work and is mean to me on the regular. Edit. I did get a lot of gifts from my dad. They were great gifts. I am incredibly grateful for them. As I said, the actual object is not the problem. My problem is my stepmom being an a-hole about the situation. I don't think I will bring it up to my dad. He knows how I feel about her, and he has my back most of the time. But with this specific situation, I feel like I'll do more harm than good. If she was intentionally malicious, then she'll get a rise out of me complaining. Plus, I'll hurt my dad's feelings and he'll think the things he gave me weren't enough. Unless this is an elaborate plot to surprise you later by saying, "Just kidding, we really bought the phone for you." Yeah, what you're describing is insensitive as hell at best. Yes, it's your stepmom's money and property and all, and technically she can do whatever the hell she wants with it. But just because you can act a certain way doesn't mean you should. I don't think she's just being insensitive as others have said. I think she is absolutely being malicious. It's just too perfect for it to be an accident that she got it on this day, is rubbing it in your face, is giving her old phone to her son, even though his phone is 2 months old, and this phone is going to her mom. Absolutely on purpose to make you feel like crap. She sounds like a real piece of work. We'll call my husband Aaron. In essence, Aaron's parents divorced when he was 13. His mother Stacy moved with his sister Amy, 4 years older than him, back to their home state while husband stayed with his father, Sam, in the same state. Sam met stepmother, Ann, 2 years later, was shortly after diagnosed with cancer, and they were married after just 2 months of dating. Ann cared for Sam in all regards, physically, financially, etc., but was notably nasty to Stacy when she'd call regarding Aaron or Amy. She told Stacy to never call their home number again, and insisted that Aaron get a separate line, and that be the only way Stacy be allowed to call, being prohibited from ever speaking to Sam. Their divorce was supposedly amicable and not ended on negative terms. So such negative and drastic treatment was very hurtful to Stacy and made it very difficult for them to co-parent. Ann's negative treatment was not only directed towards Stacy. Aaron and Amy's grandparents sent a holiday card addressed to Sam and Aaron because they were still amicable towards them despite the divorce. And Ann returned it to sender with a nasty note, saying, "How dare they exclude her?" when they had no idea Sam had remarried. Ann also despises Amy for reasons that are blurry to me, but having to do with her not calling enough when Sam was so ill. Though Stacy and Carl speculate she was being prevented from speaking with Amy by Ann. As Sam got more ill, the hostility only continued. For instance, when Aaron graduated college, Sam was physically turned around to avoid so much as looking at Stacy and Carl, who were in the distance. Aaron was handed off from across a parking lot so no physical encounter could take place. More nasty emails were sent to Stacy and Carl later on, where Ann would call Aaron her son, and that Stacy didn't deserve to be a mother. Stacy had told me about the last time she and Carl got to speak with Sam. She said Aaron gave Sam the phone saying, "It's okay, Ann's not at home." And Sam told Stacy, "I've missed talking to you." When Carl spoke to Sam, he asked him, "What is going on with Ann? Why are things like this?" And Sam responded, "I don't want to be alone." When Sam eventually passed, Amy and Aaron were all set to attend services, and Stacy and Carl were on their way down to express their condolences and support Amy and Aaron. Ann was apparently being especially hostile, and Amy called Stacy to tell her, "You'd better not show up here," and they were forced to turn around and not attend. Fast forward a few years later. Aaron visits Colorado with Ann and her adult son, James. Aaron decides he loves Colorado and wants to stay, moving out of Ann and his late father's house. He meets me, who moved from a separate part of the country as well, and we begin dating a few months after both of us have relocated. Ann was initially happy with him dating me, as it made him want to stay in Colorado indefinitely. She previously thought it would just be temporary. Things seem to cool down though, and she invites us to visit for a few days. We do, and it's fine. Ann is pleasant and generous. She buys me a gift, countless meals, and is hospitable. I am generally a polite and easy to get along with person, and treated Ann with kindness and respect. Another month later, Aaron and I get engaged, dating for 1.5 years. We are looking to choose dates, and in trying to be money conscious for my parents' sake, who generously offered to pay for our wedding, I chose the last Saturday in March, 9 months post-engagement, after conferring with Aaron that this was okay. Ann later tells Aaron that this date will not work because her son James's partner Kyle, who we met when visiting and were on friendly terms with, is attending nursing school and will be unable to make the date. Because I don't like drama and prefer to skip the he said she said thing, I messaged Kyle myself, friends on Facebook, and let him know the date we were thinking and if it would be possible for him to join us, as we'd love to have him there. Ann takes great offense to me taking this step and calls Aaron in an angry rage about how dare I try to control things for my wedding day, and shortly after decides she hates me and tells Aaron it's a mistake to marry me. This goes on for a while, until we get a long email from Ann saying she will not be attending our wedding because she cannot condone such a mistake. I was CC'd on the email, but Aaron begged me to delete it before reading it because it apparently had things about Stacy in there that he felt was unnecessary and inappropriate for me to read, supposedly, and instead told me everything else the email said. Again, supposedly. Aaron was upset, but I was able to shrug it off pretty easily since I knew I had done nothing wrong to this woman to make her dislike me, and figured she really must be unhinged. Stepbrother James was originally invited to be a groomsman, but just 2 weeks before our wedding, Aaron received a very rude and nasty email, basically saying how he's a terrible family member and also cannot condone him marrying me and will not be attending either. The wedding itself went very well, as Stacy's side of the family is very warm, kind, and drama-free, down-to-earth type people. Stacy herself is one of the most gentle and conflict-avoidant people I've met, and she had actually cried of joy when I told her Ann would not be attending, saying she was so sorry that her hatred extended to me, but that she'd been so anxious about her potential presence that she'd been losing a lot of sleep over it. I don't miss the potential drama the stepfamily would have bought one bit, and am pleased with how things went. Aaron goes no contact with the whole stepfamily for about a year after we marry, though supposedly Ann still sends emails and sends packages of his late father's things to our house. A few months ago, Ann's son James apparently gets a job about 40 minutes away and also moves to Colorado. Aaron asks me what my opinion would be if he started communicating with Ann and James again, and I tell him I will never decide who he can and cannot talk to, but that I have no interest in having a relationship with these people and feel they have shown their true colors again and again. Aaron has since spoken to Ann around once every week or two and has gone to hang out with James a few times and helped him move the first day he came out. I chose to not participate. Fast forward to now. Ann is desperately trying to win back my affections. She sent a very expensive holiday box of sweets from Harry and David, steak dinners from Omaha Meats, and sent an Xmas card with $200 cash inside. All things with my name included as a recipient. Aaron really wants me to make amends with them, saying you could at least say it's nice they sent a card and whatnot, when I still feel the same. However, my feelings are being challenged and pushed to the limits now that James lives within an hour of us, and I know it's hurtful to Aaron for me to reject them so swiftly. I am deeply concerned with opening that can of worms, however, especially as we are working on getting pregnant, and I really don't want our children to be exposed to any of the stepfamily's nonsense or potentially bad-mouthing Stacy and her family. Should I maintain my refusal stance, or should I relent and open up to them in some way? Sounds like she's attempting to buy her way back into your life so she'll have access to the child you're trying to have. Given how downright toxic she's been, you're well within your right to continue no contact. It's incredibly telling that the one thing you haven't received from your suddenly generous stepmother-in-law is a genuine apology for the atrocious things she said. Neither has James apologized from the sounds of it. If your husband so desperately wants a relationship there, he should be willing to make it clear to both of them that is a requirement for any sort of relationship. It really should be a requirement for a relationship with him as well, though he hasn't made it one apparently. It is appalling that he is letting them sweep their behavior under the rug, with no acknowledgement of how wrong they were. Does your husband not have any care about how his stepmom treated his bio-mom all those years? Stand your ground. It seems clear you have a good head on your shoulders and could see Anne from what she really is. She sounds like a horrible person, and she will never truly change. If you are hesitating, just think of all the many drama-free years you will have if you continue to cut this woman from your life.